Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Modern Wong Chat. This is the podcast where I get to talk to my friends, guests, and people from everywhere. We have YouTuber, we have cosplayer, we have people from gaming industry, just all over the place. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it a lot. Mostly because I'm very interested in what people do and how they got to where they are. And today we got Roger on the channel on this show. He is, I don't know, he's just a beam of sunlight to me all the time. He smiled great, he laughed great, and every time I see him, I just want to smile myself. Well, I'm not sure how to describe him because he does YouTube, he plays video games, he does, streaming, he does all kind of stuff, and just overall, a sweetheart. Anyway, you know what, I'll bring him on and let him describe himself so then you guys can have a better understanding from him. So yeah, let's see. Welcome, Roger. Welcome to the show.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Martin. I appreciate that. That was a very sweet intro, I got to say. I liked that a lot. That was so nice.
I did not script that at all.
Well, it was great. It was great. You described me perfectly. Talk about anime and manga and video games and being happy all the time. That's a pretty good way to describe me. So,
like every time I do this, I try not to script it. I try to just like think on the spot, and then
that's
like
the best way.
Whatever comes to mind is the first thing I describe them.
Yeah.
Hopefully I never like, oh my god, I hate this person. But you know what? I guess I'm gonna talk to them.
Well, I mean, it depends. If you think the person's gonna be good in terms of views, right? Like if interviewing somebody and you don't like them, it's gonna do well views-wise, then you would interview them anyway. It just so happens to be that we like each other, so this works out well for you.
Yeah. That just so happened to be that way. So that's great. But Roger, tell us a little bit about yourself, so then we can, know more about you.
Sure. So I am a YouTuber, streamer, content creator who mainly focuses on doing anime, manga, and video games, primarily Nintendo. Even though I got to say, Martin, I'm very jealous of you today because you've been playing Valorant and I couldn't get the beta entry. So I'm very jealous. I've been playing that right now. But yeah,
I am so dizzy though. Like right now, I am so dizzy because like I'm so used to playing like League of Legends and stuff like that. Yeah. But whenever I play games that are more like FPS, I play it for 4 hours and now I'm like dying.
4 hours.
I was playing and streaming.
Oh my god! If I do a gameplay stream for more than 3 hours, I can't do anything else the rest of the day. Like I see some people stream for 8 hours, like full 8-hour days. I don't know how they are able to do it. I
had to lay down earlier. I was like, I just need to take a quick nap, and I took like a 20-minute naps. I'm glad I woke up for it. I was like, oh my god, if I fall asleep and miss it, this would be bad. So good thing I didn't. But I also think I got my ass kicked by Shroud.
Oh, really?
Because I think I was playing against him.
Some big names.
And some other, like, I mean, I even talked to some of my friends at Riot who, of course, play with him internally.
Sure.
You don't really play against Shroud. You just die a lot. It's not really playing. It's just there. It's like, oh, I guess I'm dead again.
Yo, he could see me in arms. I'll take him down in arms, no problem. Arms
pretty much.
Nintendo Switch, I got you.
Yeah. Oh man, but you typically in Nintendo. You're a big Nintendo guy, huh?
I'm a huge Nintendo guy. Yeah, I got my Switch right here. I've been playing Animal Crossing all day. In between, Oh
my god, the animal survival. I keep saying that it's an island survival game.
It is. It's not really a survival game.
You don't die, okay?
No, you won't die.
But you do have to run away from bugs and stuff.
Yeah. It's like an island life simulator. Yeah. I love it.
I woke up every day now, and it's of course not just quarantine, but I woke up every day, and at first I would be really confused because I'm half awake, and then someone's like, "Hey, what's the price on turnips today?" Yeah. I'm like, what? Why we all care about turnips now? Like, are you all farmers? So are we doing that bad?
Turnips are like the stock market, basically, in Animal Crossing, in which every Sunday there's this little boar that comes to your town that sells turnips, and the price is different in everybody else's town. So in some towns, she sells the turnips for like 97 bells a bundle, and other towns she'll sell them for like 107. And so the goal is to go to somebody's town where the turnip price is really low, and then sell those
turnips. Buy low, sell high.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So you know the drill. You'll be fine.
Oh, I don't
you and
totally
Daisy
got it.
Be good friends.
I'm just confused when I woke up. It's like, oh my god, how many days have I slept? Quarantine is getting really bad. I was like, we're doing like farmer banter system now. We're trading food or like people asking for furnitures. And I keep thinking they're talking about real life. and
Oh,
then just
sure.
become Animal
Weirdly
Crossing.
enough, my parents obviously they follow like things that I do on Twitch or Twitter or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. They're in Chicago and I'm in LA. And yeah, every once in a while when I talk to them, they're like, "Oh, so it's weird. Are you actually looking for some type of ironwood kitchenette for your apartment?" I'm like, "No, nope, that's for Animal Crossing."
And then I have friends who are like, "Oh, I just pay off my debt." I'm like, "Congrats!" I'm like, "Yeah,
Right.
that raccoon." Like, what?
Right. Yeah, it's a Tom Nook, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Oh
Not in real
man.
life.
Like it's weird because like I haven't played the game because I don't have a Switch, and then I just haven't got around to it. But all my friends play it. My housemate play it,
Oh, I love it.
and man, what I learned is that you just start a game, and next thing you know, you get it's a fork knife. You just get dropped off on an island, and next thing you know, you're in debt to a raccoon.
That's it. That's it. He gives you a house. He says, "All right, you owe me money now. Go pick some seashells. Go get some fruit. Sell it back to me, and I'll be good to go." Yeah.
I feel like that's how a dream like, you know, you just suddenly wake up, it's like this is part of, like you on an island. Okay, I guess
It's kind of become the new normal now. I feel like with everything going on in the world, it's like the new normal is waking up with your cup of coffee, turning on Animal Crossing, and picking fruit and picking up seashells and selling them to Tom Nook. I mean, that's become the daily routine now.
It is very peaceful. It is much better than other stuff.
Yeah, it is for sure. Yeah, I mean, I love Animal Crossing, and like we were talking about earlier too, when it comes to Nintendo stuff, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Smash Brothers. Pretty much anything that's like a JRPG that they make. So I love Fire Emblem. I love Xenoblade. I'm not the biggest Mario fan in the world. Weirdly enough, you'd think that a Nintendo fan would like Mario games, but I pick and choose with my Mario games. Some Mario games I really like, and some I just don't care for at all.
What are the one that you do not like as much?
I hate 3D Land and 3D World, which are the like fake 3D Mario games that came out on 3DS and on the Wii U.
I haven't played those.
Despise those games because they tried to be 3D in an era in which I was craving a real 3D Mario. So like a 3D Mario is like a Mario 64, Mario Sunshine,
that was
Mario
great.
Galaxy.
Like, yeah,
all fantastic games.
Like 64 was amazing, especially for that time.
Oh yeah. So I love those games. And when they said, "Oh, we're making 3D Land," I assumed it would be like that. And it's not really full 3D. It's like 2.5D, where it's sort of sticking out of the screen. And then they did the same thing with 3D World, which was the one that was on Wii U. And I loved the music in 3D World, but I didn't really like the game. And then I didn't really like any of the side-scrolling Mario games. Like I've never been a fan of the side-scrolling ones. I like Mario World for the Super Nintendo. I like that one. But pretty much all the other side-scrolling ones, I'm like, whatever, they're fine.
Wait, what's the one that you can turn from 2D to 3D, or kind of like where you can not 3D, but you know how you can flip from this way horizontal to further, and then you can.
So that so that's Super Paper Mario that you're thinking of. Super Paper Mario is one where you could flip 2D and 3D, but that's also kind of the 2.5D, right?
Because it's just like instead of going side scrolling, it's more like forward scrolling. That's the only difference. Right.
So I like the old side-scrolling ones, like I said, like Mario World, excuse me, and then Mario Brothers 3. But beyond those other two, it's like most of the side-scrolling ones, I don't know, like I grew up with the Nintendo 64, but all my cousins had Sega Genesis. And so for me, like I like the old Sonic games more than I like the old Mario games. And then I like the newer Mario games more than I like the newer Sonic games, except for Sonic Mania, which was really good. So
I have not kept up with Sonic. Like I feel like they're not
missing much. Yeah.
Sega went through a thing. They went through some crazy time. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a really good one that was on PS3, I think, Generations, which like remade old levels. That was a good one. And then really since Generations, the only other really good one is Mania, which is like the one that looks like an old 2D game that came out on Switch. That one's awesome. Yeah.
Speaking of Sonic, I heard my friend said this joke that Sonic might be the biggest gross movie or making money movie this year.
Yeah.
Because there's no other movies in theater right now. You can't even go.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of stuff that recently got announced that it's getting delayed. So like Black Widow, Eternals, literally all the Marvel movies got delayed.
They might even go straight to Disney Plus. They're like considering it.
Well, I don't think they're gonna do straight to Disney Plus for like the big blockbuster ones. But I think
I don't think they're gonna do it as like. I don't think they're gonna do it as in like a straight up like, oh, we gonna if you have Disney Plus you can get it. But I mean it's more like Disney Plus extra. I mean like, oh, you pay for like a certain amount. Kind of like YouTube, you know how you have YouTube Red, but like YouTube, but you can buy movie. I can
see that a lot.
But I feel like that will hurt their like they'll make so much more money if it's theater. But the problem is that I feel like investors need their money back. That's why.
Yes. Yeah.
Like they were considering. I mean, they're not saying they're doing it, but they said they were considering doing Mulan or Black Widow and a bunch of other movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see them doing it if it's an extra paid thing, but I think if it's
Yeah.
something where it's just on the service, I don't think they're going to do it. Because even with Onward, it just came out on Disney Plus, even though it
Hmm.
just came out in theaters, but it
Hmm.
was in theaters for like 3 weeks before
Yeah.
it ended up coming to Disney Plus. So I think it
Uh,
might be something where it's like a limited engagement thing.
mhm.
We just don't know what's going on with the world right now. We don't know
We
where
can't
we're going to
predict.
be in a
Yeah.
few months. We
Hmm.
can't really predict it. Yeah.
I haven't seen Onward yet, but to me, I feel like it is a PG version of Full Metal Alchemist.
You
You
know
lost your
what?
parents. You
It's
try to bring
kind of
them back, and just nice.
Yep.
That's all.
That's kind of what I was feeling too. It's a mix of that and also the art style seems very DreamWorks to me. Like
Oh
it
yeah,
looks
it
more like
is.
a DreamWorks movie than a
It's more
Pixar movie, and so I think
rounder.
that kind of turned me off a little bit.
I
Yeah,
think it's the roundness. Like I feel like DreamWorks
yeah,
stuff is more round.
yeah,
Like
for
Shrek, it's
sure,
just like everyone's just
for
curved
sure.
more. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
everything's got like a rounder face. The facial features are rounder.
hmm
Yeah,
maybe
looks
they
more
brought
like the
some people
company
over
that made
there.
Trolls. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Maybe. I don't know. But you said you've been playing with Nintendo since a kid, like
yes,
I guess almost your whole life then. It's been a long
yeah.
time.
Yeah, so the first game I think I ever played was Duck Hunt at my cousin's house, like the old Duck Hunt for the original
Mm,
Nintendo. And then the first system I ever owned, like real system, was an N64 that I got for my 8th Christmas.
dude,
And I
N64.
vividly remember getting it was the Banjo-Kazooie bundle with the Atomic Purple controller. And
Mm,
the other game I got with it was Star Wars Rogue Squadron. And I loved that
wow.
game. So yeah, I
Dude,
grew up with N64 and I've been a Nintendo person ever since. So.
N64 I feel like is like really ahead of its time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like I feel
I
like
mean, I
Nintendo.
love PlayStation too. The original PlayStation
Uh-huh.
is also very good, but I feel like N64 had Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, like the best Zelda game. It had
Hmm.
GoldenEye, the first Smash Brothers, like Mario Kart 64. There was a lot of really good stuff on there that went on to become classics. So
I feel
yeah, I
like
love
each
N64.
console have their support. Well, like okay, for me, PlayStation has always been great because their graphic is
Yes,
always like ahead of its curves.
yes, for
Amazing.
sure.
Um, Nintendo is never like about graphic like when it comes to advancement. It's
No,
great, but it's not like oh Final Fantasy and like all this stuff. But they
no.
were like really they have their evergreen, but they also are very innovative. I feel like when
Yes,
they did Wii, like N64 is already
I love the
innovative, but
Wii.
the Wii also when it first came out, like this is a risky move. Like a remote controller and all this stuff, and
Yeah,
nunchuck and everything. But it was great. Like I love
yeah,
it. It was amazing. The
yeah.
Switch is also great as well. But those are like really risky move for a company to switch it like completely. Because like when
Yeah,
you
no
look at
pun
like
intended. You said
place,
switch it. Yeah, so that's yeah.
because when you look at like PlayStation or Xbox, they don't really have changed much. Even the controller
No.
looks kind of the same for the last I don't know 10 years.
Speaking of, did you see the PS5 controller that just went on
Yes,
Twitter this morning?
the one that look like the Xbox controller,
Whoa. I actually don't really like the colorization on it, where it's like white on two
white.
sides and black in the middle with like the blue. It
Yeah.
looks very weird to me, which also makes me wonder what the system's going to look like. Because it is weird that
Mm-hmm.
we've seen so much from Xbox at this point and that Sony
Mm-hmm.
hasn't even shown what the system looks like. And
Mm-hmm.
there's all these reports about the system overheating and all these other weird things
They're
where it
behind.
kind of feels like, yeah, I feel like, during the PlayStation Xbox rivalry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Xbox versus PS2. PS2 obliterated the original Xbox. And
Mm-hmm.
then GameCube was sort of on the sidelines doing their own thing with Nintendo.
Yep. Yep.
And then when we had PS3, Xbox 360, and Wii, same kind
Mm-hmm.
of situation. Nintendo off doing their own thing with the Wii. 360 obliterated PS3, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning. And then
Mm-hmm.
PS3 sort of like started to gain ground a little bit towards the ending. But
Mm-hmm.
really, 360 still kind of killed it that generation.
Yep. Especially
And
with
then
like
Sony
that good
was
title like
like,
Halos and everything. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So then Sony was like, we need to really bump it up for the next one. So then Sony made the PS4 and Xbox did
Mm-hmm.
Xbox One. And I think Xbox got a little too cocky very early on, where they said, oh,
Yeah.
everything has to be online at all times. Otherwise, you can't play your games. And that
Mm-hmm.
really gave PS4 a big lead, which then
Mm-hmm.
again, Nintendo off doing their own thing a little bit with the Wii U, and then
Mm-hmm.
going, what is this Wii U garbage? We're going to make the Switch. And now the Switch is out, and everybody loves the Switch. And the Switch, because it came out in such a weird time, it came out like 3 years ago now, it's
Has
still
it
new
already?
enough where it's, yeah,
Oh my
it's new
god.
enough where it's still going to go on for at least another 3-4 years, I'm assuming,
Mm-hmm.
before they make like a second Switch or whatever,
And
Switch
here's the
2,
thing,
because I
like
don't think they're going to go back.
Nintendo doesn't have to compete with like the
No,
latest graphic, the latest
no.
what. It's about the gameplay experience.
Right.
So it's very
It's about
different.
even a lot of those older games, right? It's stuff that
Mm-hmm.
maybe I didn't get around to playing initially because I had to sit in front of a TV to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But and you know this, Martin, because you're traveling almost as much as I am.
All the time.
Is I love having games on the go. Like being able to
Mm-hmm.
play a full console game on the go is great.
Oh
And
yeah.
now Switch has like Bioshock and Zeldas and all these other
Mm-hmm.
massive games where it's like, well, I'd be playing those on a TV anyway. Why
Yeah.
would I not get it for the Switch?
We can
And
play
I
on the
think a lot of
plane. You can play
companies are sort of
anywhere. Yeah.
seeing that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, PS5 and Xbox Series X, like the things you're seeing with these new systems are
Mm-hmm.
that they're really going for the power aspect,
Mm-hmm.
which I
Yep.
think might almost hurt them because now you've got these PC companies that are like really going in with like these
Mm-hmm.
good prices for these good gaming
Yeah.
rigs. And you're like, well, why would I not just play it on PC then? And now Sony and
Mm-hmm.
Xbox are already like, yeah, we're not going to have exclusives. We're going to have
Mm-hmm.
all our games on PC too. So it's like, well, what's the point? Give me a PC and a Switch, and I'm good. You know what I
Like,
mean?
and also they're raising the prices for like PlayStation and
Yeah.
Xbox. So it's like
Yeah.
now it's gonna be. I mean, the new Xbox is gonna be like a very beef up PC computer. That's it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in like
Yeah.
a console format, which is more like, oh, you can do less. So
Yeah.
it's kind
Because
of
this year, I mean, they're both coming out this year, right? They're
It
both coming
should
out this
be.
holiday,
I
potentially.
mean, they were supposed to announce what, E3?
Right, and now E3 is canceled too. And there's
Yeah.
rumors about Nintendo doing the remake of Mario 64 this year as their big holiday game, which would be huge. It's going to sell like crazy, especially after Animal Crossing.
That'll
So
be
part
crazy.
of me
Yeah.
is it's wondering because Nintendo still hasn't even done a price drop on the Switch. I'm
Mhm.
wondering if we're going to see something where Nintendo goes, you know how we beat the big boys at their own game is Sony and Xbox release their $500 systems for the holidays with like one game to play on them, and because of all the
Ye-
stuff going on in the world, and Nintendo's
Mhm.
like, well, we already have Animal Crossing and Smash Brothers, and here's a remake of the most loved Mario game of all time, and by the way, we're dropping the
Mhm.
price $50. They
Yep.
kill it. The holiday
Yep.
is theirs. There's not
Oh,
even a
yeah.
question. They do obliterate everybody. So
I remember the
yeah.
problem like every year is that like because the parents are the one who buying the console and like gift for kids and
Totally.
everyone.
Totally.
So I remember how confusing it was for parents to like, what do I buy for my kid?
Yeah.
You know? Oh,
Yeah.
and when the Wii U came, so there's a feeling that's confusing. Wii U messed
Yeah.
up because of the naming. Okay, that's one
Right.
thing. I also have a problem with Xbox. They came up with the One X and then One
Oh, yeah.
S. And then like it was just confusing. Even I was confused. Like if you ask me
Yeah.
now, I don't even know which one came first. Is it One X or One S?
So I think S and X launched at the same time. I think the first one was just Xbox One.
That's
so they
even
went
worse.
from Xbox. Yeah, they went from Xbox, the
Uh-huh.
Xbox 360 to Xbox One, to
Uh-huh.
then Xbox One S and Xbox One X, and then now the Series X is the new one. So it's a little bizarre, their naming conventions. To be fair, this is maybe something you don't even know about me, Martin. I
Uh-huh.
worked for Nintendo when the Wii U was launching. That holiday,
yeah?
I worked for them. So I was a product demonstrator in Chicago during that
Uh-huh.
holiday, and I had so many parents coming up to me being like, so this is just a tablet for the Wii, right? And I'm like, nope, it's a brand new system
Mhm.
with all these new games. And I
People
think that
think it's
really
an
did
add-on.
sort of bite them in the butt. Yeah, is the fact that it wasn't just some add-on for the Wii to turn it HD, the fact that it was a
Mhm.
whole new system. I
Mhm.
mean, it was definitely a misstep. I think it was their
Oh, yeah.
biggest failure in terms of a main system of
Yep.
all time.
Well,
Yeah,
here's the thing,
so-
because the Wii has other stuff that goes with the Wii as an
Yes.
accessory. The Wii Fit,
Yes.
the Wii whatever, like all the
Yeah.
stuff are part of the Wii system. And
Yeah.
then when they say Wii U, it's like, oh, that's just Wii, but with a U in it. If anything,
Right.
it's more like a 2.0 than, 1.5 than a new
Right.
system completely.
Yeah, and the
Um,
nice thing with the Wii U generation, at least, is that
Mhm.
so many of those really good games that were released on that system, despite
Mhm.
the fact that it didn't really have that many games,
Mhm.
so many of those games are now on Switch. Because
Mhm.
Nintendo's like, and so many people are buying those games, not
Mhm.
knowing that they were previously released on Wii U, because they didn't even know what a Wii U was.
The Wii
So
U
they
was
see Donkey Kong
not
Country or
bad.
Bayonetta 2, and they're like, oh, this is a brand new game for Switch.
Mhm.
It's like, nope, it came out 3 years ago on Wii U.
So the Wii, again, the Wii was innovative, amazing. People loved it. And
Yeah.
then they go with Wii U, which is another gamble. The hardware for it is actually not bad. You know, the camera,
No, it
like all
wasn't
kinds of it's
terrible.
actually very
No.
interesting. A giant
Yeah.
screen. I mean, if
Yeah.
anything, it's kind of how Switch kind of learned a lot from it as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I think it was great, but it was just marketing it wrong. That was the problem.
I agree. And I think it was a necessary misstep to get
Mhm.
to where we are right now.
It's a good
with the
learning
Switch.
experience. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally. Because now with the I mean, realistically, if you look at the size of the Switch versus like the tablet that came with the
Mhm.
Wii U, the tablet was only a little bit bigger than this thing,
Mhm.
and it was a meatier, right? It was
Mhm.
it was
Oh,
a
yeah.
thicker
So- mhm.
piece of hardware.
Yep.
Whereas now they just went, okay, well, we're going to slim it down, and instead of just being able to
Mhm.
play it on a tablet in front of your TV, what if you could take it anywhere? And I
Mhm.
think that's sort of what turned
And
into
the
what became
controllers
the
coming
Switch.
out. Oh,
Yeah.
just like
oh my god, the Joy-Cons, all the different Joy-Con colors, I love it.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
just well done. So props to them, man.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite Nintendo game then? I know that's a quite hard one. Like I hate this question too because I get
Man.
similar question about photography stuff, and I hate that question. But it's always
All right.
interesting to see what people say.
Oh, that's tough. Can I give an answer for each franchise?
Sure, it's a free for all.
Okay. For Mario, it's Mario Galaxy. I love Mario Galaxy.
Okay.
For Zelda, it's Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
For Pokemon, it's Heart Gold, Soul Silver for the DS.
Ooh.
For Animal Crossing, I would say it's the newest one. For Fire Emblem, I'd say it's the newest one. For Xenoblade, I'd say it's the newest one.
So that's good. I mean, their good stuff is keep coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say probably in terms of Smash Bros, I think Smash Ultimate's my favorite in terms of Smash as well. So I feel like all of their new games for the system, and I guess Breath of the Wild is the newest Zelda too, have all absolutely killed it. And that's not to say I didn't like Mario Odyssey or Pokemon Sword. In fact, I love Pokemon Sword, but I just think I have so much nostalgia for that Gen 2, Gen 4 type Pokemon game that they'll like never be top, no matter how good the game is. But at least in terms of Mario, I think the best days were behind them. And I think choosing to do like a remaster is a good idea.
I think we talked about this last time, right? About Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, but we also had Green.
In Japan. Yeah, Japan. Yes. So Japan launched with Red and Green, and then Blue was the North American version of Green. But then they released Blue as a special edition in Japan, and then internationally they all released Pokemon Yellow after the success of the anime with Pikachu. So, but it was originally Red and Green, and then it was Red and Blue in North America, and then it was Blue in Japan, and then it was Yellow everywhere. Yeah.
Like, because I was in Hong Kong, so we had all four, I remember, at the time.
All at the same time.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that because the character for Blue in Japanese, they use Chinese character, but the one they use for Blue is Green in Chinese.
Oh, that's weird.
It's really weird. Yeah. So I was really confused when I first saw it. It's like, that's a green on it, but it's colored blue with Blastoise on it. It's like, all right. Okay, all right. But it was fun though. Like I remember like having Pikachu walking around with you. It's like, it's always a blast.
Oh yeah, Yellow to this day is one of my favorites, and I really like that they remade Yellow for Switch like 2 years ago when they did Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I really thought like that was as good of a remake as you could have made of that game because they kept all the things that were good about Yellow and kept it like within a 5 to 10 hour experience. So it's something really easy that you could, actually take the time to beat when there's so many good games that are out. And I just feel like the music remixes and everything were just great. Having Pikachu walk around you and everything, it's fun.
Speaking of Pikachu, have you had one of those pedometer thing where you walk around with it?
Of course.
I never knew if America got it or not because I had one when I was in Hong Kong. Oh my god, I love that thing.
So
I would just walk and just check it too.
They had the Pocket Pikachu when we were growing up. Then they had the Pokedometer Poke Walker with Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which is the one I really like. And then they had the Pokeball Plus, which you have right now for the Switch. It's like the little Joy-Con that's like a Pokeball. Yeah, where you put your Pokemon in it and walk around with it. And the more you walk, the more experience they get. So
yeah. They need to bring those back for people to walk. Well, maybe not now, but
I agree. Yeah.
One just all over it. Like, imagine if they can fit like Pokemon Go is kind of like that. So kind of like in a mix.
Well, Gold, correct me if I'm wrong, Gold didn't have characters walking around behind you. Heart Gold, Soul Silver did, but the original Gold and Silver didn't.
No.
They cut that from it. Yeah. I don't know why they just decided to never do that again after Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I feel like that was such a cool thing.
It is really cool. But maybe, I don't know, smartphone coming out, then it might, I don't know, it might change everything.
Maybe.
I mean, they finally put Mario on smartphone, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, have you played Mario Run?
I think I played one because you only get one free level anyway. I think I tried it one, which is...
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
No. Yeah, because like, I don't know, it's kind of weird.
As Nintendo ambassador, I'm really not that big of a fan. How much
it's good. Because you can like tell, because there's things that you like and things that you don't like, and that's how anything and anyone should be, any industry should be. Yeah.
Of course.
But actually, I have a question about you too. Like, what do you do these days with like Nintendo related stuff? Like you stream, you YouTube, like what are those things? Like do you play games? Like what is it actually?
Sure. So a lot of the time I play games. So like with Animal Crossing, I've been doing streams pretty much weekly of Animal Crossing and I love it. I love making videos for certain games as well. I don't really play every new game that comes out because I feel like I would just get overwhelmed. There's so much new content that comes out every single week. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't cover everything, but when there's something I really feel I'm passionate about, whether it's like a Fire Emblem, Pokemon, Animal Crossing type thing, I just
Mm-hmm.
decide to make content. And usually that content is not the same as what a lot of other people make on YouTube. I think a lot of other people focus on doing Let's Plays where they like play through the entire game and that's it. And they record it off camera. And for me, that's not fun. I think for me, I have much more of a focus on streaming and playing through on stream and then uploading highlights of those streams than I do like sitting and recording by myself. Because I think having the chat to interact with is such a fun part of the game. Even like when you're playing a game, something like Fire Emblem or Pokemon, for example, like having the chat tell you, oh, you should send out this Pokemon, or oh, go this direction, and then you consoling with the chat when something goes wrong. I mean, that kind of stuff I love. That viewer interaction, I think, is what makes engaging content. And so I always try to, like, if it's something that I think I'm really, really going to enjoy, I try to play it on stream. So, yeah.
Yeah. I do you have any brother, sister growing up?
Nope. Only child.
So I guess like your Twitch or your stream family is your family.
Exactly.
It's like playing with brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like playing with brothers and sisters. Exactly. Yeah.
So currently you're playing Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Anything else, or mostly just?
So I just finished a playthrough of One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 for the Switch. Just came out last week.
You love One Piece.
Oh, I love One Piece, bro. Don't even get me started.
Why One Piece though? Why? Out of all the ones. Like,
I don't know. Well, where do you want me to begin?
Okay, first of all, how did you discover One Piece? I learned about it because I don't know, like it's part of the the big 3 or big 4, right? You got Naruto, you got Bleach, you got OG DBZ, and then of course you got One Piece. Yeah. Then I kind of learned about it because have you also played that? Is it called D.O.N? It's like on GameCube.
Oh, well, which one? Romance Dawn?
No. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what to call it. It's maybe I'm spelling it wrong because it's Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Naruto. Is this called D.O.N? Also with Bleach? I don't remember, but it's like a fighting games with like those 4 franchises.
Oh, Jump Superstars.
Is it?
So Jump Superstars.
I'm not sure if America ever had it too.
Well, it's Jump Superstars is the one on DS. The one that's on GameCube is the Pirate. It's not Pirate Warriors, but it's like Pirate Battle or something. I know the game you're talking about.
I feel like there's one that like
J-Stars is the one that has the main 4 on the new systems.
J-Star. Okay.
Yeah,
hold
J-Stars.
on. I feel like
look it up.
I'm looking up right now. No, Battle Dawn Stadium GameCube.
What? Hold on.
You need to. Yeah.
Battle of Dawn Stadium GameCube.
Battle Stadium Dawn D.O.N. It's on GameCube. And here's the thing: I'm not sure if America ever got it.
Oh
no, it's on GameCube.
What is this? No,
it's amazing this. Because like it's in GameCube days. Okay.
This came out in 2006, so this came out the year the Wii came out. It was for GameCube and PS2. Dawn. Well, yeah, it never came out in North America. It was only in Japan.
My friend got a copy from Japan, and we played it.
What?
You need to get your hand on a copy of it.
I need to get my hands on this. This seems weird. It's just Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Naruto characters.
Yep.
I've never even heard of this.
It was an interesting game.
Wow.
It's really nostalgic. It's kind of like playing Kirby. What's that flying ones? Kirby. What's the one Kirby? Air Ride, yes.
Air Ride's my jam, dude. I love Kirby Air Ride.
Dude,
that's one of my favorite Kirby games.
Going to friend's house and play that game.
Going on City Trial and picking up the different items. That to me, Kirby Air Ride was Battle Royale before Battle Royale became a genre that everybody makes. If Nintendo went back and did like Kirby City Trial remake or whatever, and that was Nintendo's Battle Royale game, it would do gangbusters, man. People would go crazy for Kirby Air Ride Battle Royale. Because you're already, if you think about the way that game worked, it literally, you dropped in on a star into a city, competed against your friends, took out everybody, built up your loot, got everything else from beating the other players. And then at the end of the whole thing, you did a race or you did some type of battle and you would take the other players out. Like it was literally a battle royale. Yeah.
Now they can, like, with the system getting better, it's not only 4 players. You can, like, have lots of people playing it.
You can have 64 players online.
Oh, yeah.
64-player Kirby Air Ride flying around with starships. I mean, incredible.
If someone from Nintendo is watching this, like, guys,
believe me, I've told them. So, funny story. I had JC Rodrigo, friend of mine who works for Nintendo Treehouse, came to my house last year to play Joker. So, when Joker came out for Switch, they wanted to go to the brand ambassadors' houses and like film and do streams with them. And so JC came over with some of the other members of the Treehouse and some of the other members of Golan Harris, like their PR firm. And we're all over there, we're talking. And JC on stream was talking to me saying, what's something that you really like from Nintendo of old, like in the GameCube era? And I said, well, I love Kirby Air Ride. I would love a new Kirby Air Ride game. And he looked at me like, Kirby Air Ride? Who wants Kirby Air Ride? My chat went in on him. They were all like, we all want Kirby City Trial. And he's like, oh, okay, we'll look into that.
Do you? Because it's just so much memories. Like
It was
I feel
awesome,
like
man.
there was like is that and Smash is the thing that you always
Yes.
go to your friend's house to play.
Yes, Smash to me is, I think if I had to choose one, right? I know it's kind of cheating considering it has every franchise in it. But to me, if I had to choose one, I would choose Smash Bros.
Oh, of course, definitely.
One Nintendo game. Because
Oh, yeah.
I could play Smash Bros. Every day and never get bored of it and always see new characters and try new things. I adore Smash. It is the perfect party game. It's the perfect fighting game. It's perfect to play single player too. Just
It's
like
one of those
training.
games that like, because like back in the days before internet, and then like we play, it's like, oh, we're pretty good, and then you go to your friend's house, your friends come over, and you get
You get
owned.
destroyed.
You get
Yes.
destroyed so
Yeah.
badly, and like, what happened? I never landed. I never touched the
Yeah.
floor. Oh
Yeah.
man! And then now become the whole fighting game community is such a big thing. It's
Oh
amazing.
yeah. I mean, it's
enjoy
huge
it.
in the fighting game community.
Oh
now.
yeah. I love
Yeah.
FGC people. Like they all just it's like,
Oh, I love it too.
they're all lovely. Yeah.
Evo is always one of my favorite events. Every year, I love going to Evo.
I have not been yet. I want to.
Oh, you'd love it. You
Yeah.
should come. You should
I
come with
will.
me and Reagan. Obviously not this year. We're not going this
Yeah,
year.
of course. No.
But next year, come with us. It'll be
Yeah,
fun. We always
when it
go.
happens again. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
a lot of our friends go there too. Like Vampy, Linda bit me.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
Oh yeah.
Vampy
Of
bit me.
course.
Yeah, Linda. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Vamp's always there.
She's
yeah.
actually gonna be on the show next week as well. So
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Right on. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Another friend of mine, another Bandai Namco ambassador person. You know,
This
it's
is all
great.
friends.
Another
I
fellow
love
One
this.
Piece fan. Tell Vampy. I
Mhm.
literally just talked to her about One Piece because she'll talk to you about One Piece as much as I would
She
talk to you.
loves it. She loves Bo
Oh, she's
Hancock
like
and
me.
everything. Yeah.
Oh, Robin and Boa, everybody.
Yeah. Like before we were supposed to shoot too, with Reagan as well. Yeah. But then
She
like
still
of
wants
course,
to. And then obviously all this stuff happened, and so
maybe
yeah.
by the end of summer, maybe it'll be better. You know,
I
we'll
hope
see.
so. I hope so, man.
We'll see how it
I'm ready
goes.
for it.
Yeah. But One Piece, we forgot. One Piece.
Yes.
How'd you get into One Piece?
So I got into One Piece. I was a big fan of a series called Sergeant Frog growing up. The Japanese name is Kurodo Gunso.
Oh yes, I know. Yes.
Yeah, you know. Okay, so I loved that growing
I'm
up.
from Hong Kong, so that's why it's a big
Okay,
it's a
so
big thing in
they-
Asia.
totally,
Yeah.
Kurodo's huge. So I was a huge fan of that growing up. And I remember going to Borders and Barnes and Noble and reading Sergeant Frog manga chapters that were like being released. I think they were developed by Tokyo Pop or something in North America. They were the ones publishing it. And I'd go and I'd sit in the manga aisle with my dad. My dad would go to the Starbucks and get a drink and go to the little cafe area. I'd get manga and I'd go sit with him and I would just read for like hours on end.
I remember those
And
days.
One of the other big things I was into at the time of Sergeant Frog was Yu-Gi-Oh! I was huge into Yu-Gi-Oh! And the cards, the physical Yu-Gi-Oh! Special edition cards were included in the North American physical Shonen Jump issues. And in Shonen Jump, you know, obviously with Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece, everything, that's where all the new chapters were published.
Yep,
So
yep.
I remember going to Barnes & Noble, sitting with my dad, getting to Sergeant Frog, and then seeing this thing called One Piece that was on the shelf and going, what's this about? This looks kind of weird. It doesn't look like a traditional anime, whatever, that's fine. Walking over to go to get the Shonen Jump to pick it up because there was the card in it. And then I went and I sat down at the cafe and I saw, oh, One Piece is in this too. So I thought, okay, I'll read it. And the first thing I ever read in One Piece was the chapter. I don't know if you're familiar with it at all, but the chapter where Luffy, Zoro, Usopp, and Sanji go to save Nami in Arlong Park, and they're walking to go fight Arlong. That is the first chapter I ever read of it, and I was like, this seems kind of interesting. So I went back to the manga aisle and picked up. I think at the time it was like only 3 volumes or something, and I went back and I picked up the 3 or 4 volumes that were available of One Piece, and I read through them, and I loved it. And I've been reading it literally ever since. I've had a couple breaks here and there, but most of the time I've been reading week to week, and I adore it. Yeah.
I feel like for One Piece, it's either you love it or you hate it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because the art style is also really hard to get into if you don't like it.
Yeah, it
It's
definitely
all
is
over
something
the
that
place.
can turn off a lot of people. But I think the art is actually really good. It's just that it's the kind of
very
thing where,
dramatic.
it's such a different style from other anime that I think a lot of people who are into traditional stuff like Naruto or Bleach or whatever, they see that and go, that doesn't look like anything that I would want to read. And so they turn away from it. Whereas like for me, you know, I grew up loving Disney movies and Nintendo games with the exaggerated features and the, you know, the very cartoony type attacks. And so to me, I felt right at home reading One Piece. And even like I was talking about earlier, I love Sergeant Frog, and that's very much the same kind of manga. They all have huge eyes and they're goofy. And
that one's
right in line.
ridiculous. Yeah, it's
I love it,
hilarious
man.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Too
love
bad
it.
America never got big on it. But oh man, those
Yeah,
frogs.
which is crazy because it's huge in
Oh,
Asia.
it's so big.
It's everywhere. I mean, it's ongoing to
Oh
this
yeah.
day. It's
Like
huge. Yeah,
every time I go out in Asia, you can buy keychains of it. There's so
yeah,
many different ones.
Kururo's
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah. Because they're like it's hilarious because like, it's about frogs that are trying to take over the world.
yeah, the frog
Yeah.
aliens. Yeah,
Frog aliens. Yep. And it's
I love it.
hilarious. So check it out if you guys haven't.
Yeah,
Um,
Sergeant Frog's great.
but yeah, no, One Piece, like I don't know. I have friends that suddenly just got back into it or just got into it, and they're like, "Oh my god, why did I keep delaying and never got into this?"
I know. I know.
How many chapters are there now?
Let me actually just look at my YouTube channel. I can tell you the most recent review that I just did. I want to say 951. I want to say 951.
Do you do like a YouTube video
Uh,
every week or something?
every chapter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do a
Wow.
review every. We are currently on One Piece manga chapter 976. Was the most
So
recent.
so they will
Yeah.
break 1,000.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, they're gonna break 1,000 this year. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
it'll be the end of this year. They're going to break 1,000. It's going to be a big milestone. Now, I've only been doing YouTube videos about One Piece since like the late 700s.
Uh-huh.
So I started around
Only.
790. I know, but I say that, but realistically, in the grand scheme of things, that's still post time skip. That's during like the Dressrosa Doflamingo story arc.
Yep, yep, yep.
And so the first chapter I ever did a review of and a reaction to was the one chapter in which a certain character comes back midway through the Dressrosa story arc, and I won't say it to spoil like maybe new viewers, but it blew my mind. Like seeing that character make a return made me say, well, you know what? I think I really want to make videos talking about this because no one else in my friend group in Chicago was really talking about it, and I didn't live in LA at the time, so I thought, well, why not just do reviews? I've seen other people doing reviews about it, and I feel like I went to school for theater. I like being in front of a camera. Let's just talk about it. And so I started doing them. And then the one that really took off was I did a live reaction to chapter 795, which is when the primary antagonist of the current story arc was first introduced. His name's Kaido. He's this big, bulky, dragon-looking guy. And I had like predicted how I thought he was going to look when we were eventually going to see him, and I got it right. And the video blew up. The video got like 150,000 views in like a week. And
Damn.
this was like when I did not have very many subscribers at all. I was just making it, for fun. And I had just moved to LA. I was working for a bunch of different companies at the time, and I wasn't thinking of making this my career. But then every week people were like, do a reaction to the chapter, do a review. And I just sort of got in the zone of doing it. And I realized, well, there's another big thing I really like, which is Nintendo. Why don't I just do a channel where it's half anime and manga that I like and half Nintendo games? Because then there's always going to be something to talk about.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of been my MO. I've done live reactions to Nintendo trailers and announcements and games and anime and manga chapters and things, and I've been doing that ever since. Yeah.
I remember you were saying that a few weeks ago, I think when they announced, I forgot what they were announcing, but you have to wake up at 6 in the morning.
Oh, Nintendo Direct. There was a Nintendo Direct. Oh my God. So they warn you a day before, 2 days before when the Direct is going to happen, where there's going to be a bunch of new trailers and information. And those days are always really busy for me because my routine on like the day of a Nintendo Direct is I wake up, I do the reaction, I go to other people's YouTube channels and I record discussions with them, like collabs, basically. And I talk to other people about what the news was. And then I do my own videos and I upload those. And then I do a podcast that I host with Shofu, another Pokemon YouTuber. And that podcast is called Japan Time, where we talk about Pokemon and Smash or whatever. And then we always do a Japan Time after the Nintendo Direct. So whenever there's a day where there's a Nintendo Direct, I'm usually working for 12 hours nonstop, the whole day. It's like always a busy day for me.
Is Nintendo Direct like sudden? Like are they not like
Normally they warn you, and it's about 50 minutes. Normally the actual Direct itself is about 50 minutes long. This most recent one, the reason, and I think the thing you're referring to is that Twitter post where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to record this thing at this time. So that happened. Normally they announce it, like I said, 2 days before, but that happened because of all the stuff that's going on in the world.
2 days ahead is still like not enough. I feel like
yeah, but it's enough to plan for it at least. I know at least like, okay, I could sit down and take the day out to record. But this one, they shadow dropped it on their YouTube channel and didn't announce it anywhere. So I woke up seeing it was already trending. And obviously my whole thing is doing live reactions to the news. So if I see something, I'm going to be spoiled on it, and then I can't do a live reaction because then it's like,
yeah, it's like knowing the ending to a game. Yeah,
exactly. It's like knowing the ending to a game or something. So then for me, I was like rushing to get to go do that Direct, and the day turned out okay. I was able to do a lot of stuff, but yeah, those days are always some of the busiest.
So normally they still have less than a week announced to let you know like let people know that Nintendo Direct is coming, like whatever.
Yeah, usually it's
That's
less
still
than a week.
extremely sudden, you
Oh
know.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Does it feel like suddenly like, oh, by the way, guys, in 2 days
Yeah.
we're gonna announce something? And you're like, wait, what?
That's how it is. Yeah. And normally in some of these directs, some of them are featured towards one game, right? Sometimes there's
Mhm.
like a Smash Bros. Direct or a Pokemon one. But the
Mhm.
Nintendo ones, the basic Nintendo Directs, usually cover a lot of games at once.
Mhm.
And so you really need to figure out, okay, what's important to me and what do I prioritize making content on?
And I think
And
Nintendo does such a good job. It's kind of like Apple when they drop news. It's like they keep
right.
it very hidden, and out of
Yes. Yeah.
nowhere, bam! Like a whole new like I remember when they
Yeah.
first introduced like Breath of the Wild Wind.
Oh my God.
It's
The
like out of
first
nowhere,
Breath
it's
of
like
the Wild.
oh my god! It's like oh
Yeah. The first trailer
amazing.
where they're talking and you hear voice acting in a Zelda game for the first time, and you're like, oh my God.
It looks
Or
pretty and
yeah.
when they like
For me,
announced
it's always
Joker
the
for
Smash
Smash.
reactions.
Yeah.
Bro, yes. Whenever it's a Smash character, because that's the kind of thing where you could know a Smash character's coming, but if you don't know the character, it's still going to be just as hype. And I mean, that's predominantly in terms of like the reactions that have done really well on my YouTube channel, they've almost all been Smash character reveals.
Dude,
Or
remember
it's
when
the
they
visual
introduced like
Smash character.
Smash? When you thought it's like, oh, it's another what's that Squid game? With the
Splatoon. Oh
yeah, you're
my
like,
God.
and that's Splatoon. It's like, oh, Splatoon, and then suddenly you saw her eyes reflection. It's like, oh no, oh no.
I remember where I was that day. I literally remember. So I was told that morning from a bunch of people who are kind of in the know that like you should maybe watch this Nintendo Direct live as it's happening. And at that point, I wasn't streaming them. I was recording my reactions and then uploading them afterwards. And I had not streamed really regularly in terms of the directs. So I thought, I'll do this, but I don't know if people are going to watch it. And it just so happened that the person knew that Smash was going to get revealed and didn't tell me. And so that video still remains up on my YouTube channel where, you see the Splatoon characters and I immediately started going, oh my God, I think it's Smash Bros. I think it's Smash Bros. And I was clutching onto this pillow of Rowlet from Pokemon and I'm clutching onto it. And that's where the whole like meme started with my channel where I scream to pillows whenever exciting things happen to muffle my sound so my neighbors don't get mad, is I was screaming in this Rowlet pillow and, the rest is history. So then we were getting Smash reveals and I've been doing live reactions to all of them ever since. And we're getting more going into this year. So yeah,
that was amazing.
I see somebody in your chat literally has the emote from my Twitch channel of
oh,
me
that's
screaming
you.
in the pillow. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. No, like they do such a good job announcing stuff. And
no, they do.
I don't know what's the next thing gonna be, but I'm sure you'll know eventually. I'm sure you'll know ahead of curve. What's your guess?
They told us it's going to be an ARMS character. They said it's going to be an ARMS character is the next one. They didn't say who, but they said it's an ARMS character. Yeah, the game from it's a Nintendo fighting game on Switch. It's like a newer game. And they said the first character in this past is going to be a character from that game. So I think it's going to be probably Twintel, who's like the main character from that everybody really likes, or either the mascots for the game, Springman or Ribbon Girl. We'll see. It really just depends. But after the ARMS character, there's 5 other characters that are going to come out, and I have a bunch of different ideas on who those could be.
How many are there already?
There's already, I think, 80. Let me look on the Smash website. I can tell you for. Let me look. If you type in SmashBros.com and click on where it says fighters, they actually are all numbered on there. So there are currently 75. There's currently 75, and by the time the next DLC is done, it's going to be 81.
See,
81.
I think this is Nintendo actually did a good job on using advantage of the internet updating games.
Totally.
Because a lot of games, I feel like they use internet as a way to cheat their way through not finishing a game. Like a lot of games, like it's not finished or like that's broken or they need to patch. It's like, don't worry, we can patch it through the internet. But then after that, it's more like fixing rather than actually creating more content. Other than paying for DLC, but that's I feel like the whole different thing. But with Nintendo, it's like just like, oh shoot, they're actually giving you a whole new experience into it, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Nintendo's really good at that because they'll make the game, and then when the game is finished, they go, okay, let's make DLC for it. They don't make the DLC while they're making the game. Like almost every other company nowadays, they already know what the DLC is going to be as they're developing the core game, so that when you're playing the final game and then right away you get DLC announcements, you're like, well, clearly you could have put this in the actual game.
It's more like they made the game and they cut it out. Yeah, it's more like, oh, a 60 chunk and then like make it so someone can pay for it, you know?
Whereas Nintendo makes the full experiences and then afterwards says, we're going to give you this, and this. Yeah, so.
That's amazing. That's why, good for them, you know? That's why they deserve the love and support.
Oh, yeah. In terms of other characters that I think they're going to add eventually, It's weird because they have so many characters in it already. I feel like it's tough. But I think Dante from Devil May Cry is going to be one of them. I think they'll probably add him eventually. I think there's a high likelihood we can get Sora from Kingdom Hearts. I think we could get Sora.
Do they have the right to it though?
So,
I mean, they can ask
this is
for it, right?
this is a whole debate basically on the internet. But basically, speaking as somebody who knows the internal workings of Disney, having worked for them, let me say that Disney, if I remember this correctly, owns the character of Sora. But the design of Sora, so like the actual design of the character, is owned by Square Enix because Nomura designed him.
Okay.
So if Square wants to put Sora in something, they have to go through Disney. But the approval on the design of the character is Square, which is a weird way to go about it.
So it's kind of like how the whole Sony Marvel Spider-Man situation. Something like that. Not exactly, but something like that, where it's like some people own part of the character this way, but some people own the movie rights, some people own the design rights.
So I think if Sora was going to be in Kingdom Hearts, if they were going to do that, they would probably need to remove the Mickey Mouse keychain off his Keyblade, and they would probably have to remove any other like Disney ties, which would probably be easier said than done. I think you could put Sora in there with a key and then have like the spirits be Riku and Kairi and the other Kingdom Hearts exclusive characters, as opposed to putting, Mickey and Donald and Goofy. So,
like, I'm so surprised that Disney haven't come up with a Super Smash version of their games. Now they own Marvel.
That's a whole nother debate. I mean,
they own Lucas.
Yeah, I would love to see a 2D Street Fighter type game with the Disney princesses. Is something I would love. But unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to get that. But it's something I would love to see.
I think it's because there's too many steps and too many companies.
Yeah.
Or else it'd be amazing.
And I think we do know now Disney is much more willing to work with these big video game companies to do promotional stuff. So it's possible that Sora could get in there with the Disney stuff. But it's just a weird situation. Because I mean, like in Fortnite, right? They have all the Star Wars stuff in Fortnite. They have Thanos was in Fortnite for a while. So they're not opposed to it. And I would say Nintendo is about as big as you can get. It's on the level of an Epic. So if they're going to work with Epic to do Fortnite stuff, I could see them working with Nintendo to do Sora and Smash Bros stuff.
I mean, Nintendo's bigger than Epic, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. So I think like Sora, Dante, those would be a couple. Paper Mario, I think, is one we could get. I think they could do Paper Mario. I think
Jill,
he'd be
maybe?
a unique little character. Jill Valentine would be sick from Resident Evil. I would love that. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be weird, but then again, they have like Metal Gear in it, so I'm not completely.
Yeah. I would love to see Jill, or I'd love to see Wesker. I think Wesker would be really cool because he could fly around. He has his moveset already from Marvel vs. Capcom. Speaking of another character, I would love to see, and I think would fit so well as Phoenix Wright. I think Phoenix Wright would be so good in Smash Bros. Ace Attorney.
How does that work though?
So in
instead of an attack, it's like right.
He like throws papers and like uses speech bubbles to attack. And it seems already very Nintendo-like. And Ace Attorney's known for being on Nintendo systems too.
Yep. Or the
for
DS
his final Smash, he could just have the judge's gavel slamming down on the stage, and I think it'd be really cool.
We'll see how many of them you get right when they announce them.
We'll see.
You should start like do some open betting. It's like,
I did a whole video prediction about the 6 characters I think are going to be in the Smash DLC. I'm already wrong on one because it ended up being an ARMS character. I don't think anybody predicted that. So
we'll see. Yeah, that's a I don't even know what it is. So that's a strange one. Yeah. Wait, back to One Piece.
Yes.
So you discovered One Piece. You fell in love. You did the story. You start doing YouTube stuff for it.
Yep.
Where are we going from here? Like, I know you still follow it. Like, first of all, favorite character.
Oh, that's easy. Trafalgar D. Water. Law, man. I love Law. Law is my absolute. I have a Law statue right here on my desk. Look at this. I have him literally on my desk right here. Trafalgar Law. Look at that. I love him. He's the best. So Law is my favorite. And then I would say my other favorites would be Sabo, Sanji, Koala, and Carrot would be my other 5. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long do you think the story is going to keep going?
5 more years. 5 more years. Yeah.
5 more human years, our years.
5 more human years. 5 more human years. Yeah.
That's a good
think
thing.
What's going on? Yeah, that is a good thing. Yeah, I think it's actually getting close to wrapping up now. Is for anybody who reads the manga currently, the story arc that we're in right now, Wano Country, is something that's been set up for a really, really long time. And the primary antagonist of the story arc is one of the 4 Yonko, one of the 4 emperors of the sea in One Piece. And it seems like the way the story is going, he's going to be the first one to actually be taken down.
Mm.
And once you take down one Yonko, there's no going back. So then
Mhm.
you'll have to take down the other three. And
Mhm.
so there's sort of like a clear through line for the rest of the series now of taking down the other emperors, discovering the One Piece, and then the ramifications of what discovering the One Piece means for the world.
Mhm.
So I really only see about like 4 more big story arcs, the same level of Wano, moving forward to the next 5 years. And I think one will be the arc in which they discover the One Piece. One
Mhm.
will be the final war of the series, in which they find out whatever the One Piece is and they take
Mhm.
down the world government. So that'll be one. I think they're probably going to go to the land of the giants, which has been teased for years, which
Mhm.
is this like island with giant characters on it, where another character in the series has ties with that. So I think it's going to have that. And I think we're going to get some type of like futuristic story arc where maybe they go to the moon, because there's a lot of ties to the moon and the
Mm.
tides. And there's a character that's a pretty important character in the pre-time skip era
I
that
was
is
gonna say
currently
like
residing on
they
the moon.
missed it.
So
Yeah. Mhm. The
yeah,
whole
so I
time.
think they might go there too. Yeah.
I was confused too because every once in a while I will, because I used to read manga a lot, especially when Bleach and Naruto was really big, and every once in a while I was like, let me hop over and see what's up with One
Sure.
Piece.
Sure.
And then one time I think I skipped for a little bit, but then suddenly I came back and like the time skip happened. I was
Oh,
really
yeah.
confused. So like, where
Yeah.
did he get that scar from? What just
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
And then I didn't know that nobody knows either. It's just like it happened, and I was like, oh,
Well, so the we know where he got the scar, but I'm not going to tell you if you hahaven't gotten to that
I
point in
have
the
not.
story.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
I
of stuff I
won't.
haven't got to it.
So we know where he got the scar. I mean, it
Uh-huh.
happened on screen during one of the pre-time skip story arcs, and
Oh, okay.
it's an excellent story arc. If you haven't read it, go read the Marineford story arc or watch it. If you
And
just
I
type in Marineford on YouTube and just watch it, it's excellent.
and I heard that like the great thing about One Piece is that they hide a lot of things in the beginning. It's not like, oh,
Yes.
let me just suddenly add this out of nowhere. It's something
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, they planned it for a long time.
Long time. Yeah, I mean, there's things that are getting revealed in the story now that were first introduced in the first 50 chapters of the series, and we're at
That's
chapter
crazy.
950 something. So
Yeah.
there's a side character in the arc that we're in right now where the character was Zoro's teacher in the first however many chapters of One Piece, like when he was a kid.
Mhm.
And we found out now, just very recently, that this teacher was actually the son of a very important person in the current story arc. And you're like, wow. And it makes sense when you know like what Zoro has done, learned, and the names that were set up back then. So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's make it very enjoyable.
Oh, it does. Yeah, that's
mean-
a big reason why I like it so much. I think another thing that does a really good job of that's Attack on Titan. So one of the other primary series I do content on is Attack on Titan. And the manga is currently in its final story arc right now. So we're going to be over with it within the next year. And the thing that's so good about it is that the things happening now are things that are clear as day when you go back and watch the very first episode. The tells are there. I mean, the final big reveals of the series are there from the very first episode. And that's the kind of stuff where, Attack on Titan's been around for half a decade at this point. There's 100 something chapters of it. I think 128 now. And to go back to that first chapter and see, oh, this is what they planned all along is pretty amazing.
So it actually makes sense, not like trying to like BS their way through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think it's great when creators like have that opportunity, like, oh yeah, let us, plan for that, and knowing that there will be a support for us to keep making it.
Sure.
Because that's always the scary part, right? Like because I think Bleach ended incorrectly. I feel like they had, I forgot
they
why.
rushed it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They told Kubo Bleach wasn't doing as well manga-wise. They weren't selling a lot of volumes anymore. It was getting outshadowed by a lot of newer series, and they rushed Kubo to finish it. And I don't know like the extent of what happened at the end of the series because I didn't ever get that far into it. But knowing from the general consensus of people in the anime community that I'm friends with on Twitter, they rushed to get to the final antagonist, and then the last like 3 chapters are just
it made no sense. It made no sense. And then lots of things did not get explained, and it's like, yep, that's just how it ends. It's like, wait, what?
Right.
It's kind of like some American TV show as well. Like, I'm not sure you watch any of them, but like Dexter. Dexter is one of the American TV show.
Sure. Yeah, Dexter ended badly. Yeah.
Similar idea that like they have to rush it. So like, all right, or Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yep.
All right, let's just put whatever random in it, and it didn't end well. So I'm glad that
that's the nice thing.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about One Piece, I think, is that it's such a huge success in Japan that
it's so big in Japan.
It's huge. Yeah, I mean,
Like
it's a big
billboard
success
on
here
bus.
too, but I mean,
Oh,
it's
it
like
is.
enormous in Japan.
Oh
So
yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's gonna get its good ending. Like I have
Hmm.
no doubt in my mind he's gonna write it the way he wanted to write it. So,
Like
and we got the Netflix show coming out too. We're gonna get the live
oh,
action One Piece too. So
oh, are you
yeah.
worry?
No, I'm not actually.
Okay.
The writer for the show is a really big fan of One Piece.
Okay.
And I happen to know he watches my YouTube videos because he told me at a One
Hey,
Piece event. So, so I know he's a big like fan of the community, and
is
I
it
know he
made by
knows what people want.
how is it gonna be made? Is it like
So it's live
style?
action,
Uh-huh.
developed by Netflix. It's like a Netflix produced show.
Okay.
And the studio producing it is Tomorrow Studios,
Okay.
IGTV, which is like a well-known like TV show studio. They
Mm-hmm.
did Prison Break and a bunch of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like a pretty big deal. And the
Mm.
budget for the show is astronomical. The budget of the show is similar to Game of Thrones. I mean, it's a very high budget show. And I think it's mostly because Japan knows that if they're going to do this, they're going to do it
Do it
right.
right.
You know?
Yeah. And they have
Yeah,
a huge fan base. And yeah.
yeah. So I'm not really worried about the One Piece live action. I actually think it's going to be
Hmm.
pretty good.
And here's the thing, like every time there is a game or anime or manga adaptation of a movie, I'm always worried. I'm like,
Mm,
because every time if it does badly, especially box office, it's gonna make it look bad, and people and
right,
investors don't want to try it again, even though they haven't tried
right.
correctly.
Right.
Like when they did Dragon Ball Z, it's like, that's not how it's
Oh,
supposed to be.
well, exactly. The Dragon Ball Z one was just so bad. It was so
Yeah,
bad. Or
and
the
then it stopped. Like I feel like it just pulls back like few years. It just discouraged them
yeah,
from making any more
it
live action
does.
for a while. Yeah.
It does. The Death Note that came out recently was pretty bad too.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty
Mm-hmm.
bad. Um,
Sonic did great, so I'm glad.
Sonic was
Like,
actually pretty good. I
I
thought. Yeah,
mean, the
Sonic was
movie was
pretty
pretty
good.
good too. Yeah, like it's.
I enjoyed Detective Pikachu. I thought too. I thought
Oh
Detective
yeah.
Pikachu was pretty fun too.
Mm-hmm. So I
They've
feel
been getting
like
better recently. Yeah,
finally we're like, oh, okay, we can accept this now. I
yeah,
forgot what's
yeah.
another anime or manga movie. I was like, okay, not too bad. Oh, I haven't
The
seen it.
Rurouni Kenshin ones were not bad, actually.
Oh, really?
Rurouni
I haven't seen
Kenshin were
that one.
not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Tokyo Ghoul wasn't that. In fact, I think we
Tokyo
were
Ghoul
at the
wasn't bad.
Tokyo Ghoul. Weren't we at the premiere together?
Most likely, yeah.
The one that was in Hollywood. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I was there.
that was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep,
live
yep.
action was pretty good.
Especially
Yeah.
from Japanese made. Like sometimes Japanese made,
Yeah.
the budget's not that big. So,
Yeah.
but they did a really good job in the
Yeah, they did.
CGI and everything. Yeah.
I did
Like,
not like the Attack on Titan one. The Attack on Titan one was pretty bad. The
oh,
live
I
action
haven't
Attack
seen
on
that
Titan
one.
movie was not great.
No, I have not seen. I didn't even know about it, but I'm not surprised. It's really hard to make it
Yeah.
good. Like it has to be a huge
Yeah.
Hollywood budget to make it do it justice.
Yeah.
Because we're
Yeah,
talking about
for
giants,
sure.
like
Yeah.
Godzilla style.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But what's your next thing then? Like what like I know you're working on all this stuff. Is there like a big project that you're
Sure.
working on next?
Oh, I got a couple things coming up. So I just recently started a manhwa series, a Korean manhwa series called Solo Leveling. And I've fallen in love with doing read-throughs for it. And so I do really want to get into doing another read-through series soon of
Mm-hmm.
another Korean manhwa. And I haven't figured out what that's going to be just yet, but that's coming up in the near future.
Sorry,
And
stop you for a second. When you say a read through, what do you do with
yes.
it?
So I basically live stream myself reading the story for the first time.
Mm.
And the reason people look forward to it is I think a lot of these people are fans of the series. And
Mm-hmm.
instead of just doing a one-off reaction video, the read-throughs are more of like an event. It's like a day where, okay, RogersBase is going to sit down and read this thing that I've wanted him to read for so long. So what I do is I read it out loud. I talk about what's happening on the screen. I share my reactions to whatever it is that we're reading. And then we usually do about 15 to 20 chapters per like 2-3 hour long read-through. And
Do
we
you
just
show it, or how does it like? Or do you just like?
sometimes I do. It depends on copyright.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So for things like One Piece or Attack on Titan, I don't. But for things like Solo Leveling, like the manhwa series that people want more people to talk about it, those I can show. But it's really up to the copyright holder if I could show it or
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
That's like, because like some of them could be like more like and it's not kid story. So I'm like, this
Right.
is like reading for kids, but for
Yeah,
adults.
but for adults. Yeah, totally. And that's what it is. There's a lot of people who tell me, like, they'll come up to me at events or they'll, just say it in my chat. They'll say, oh, I was at work and I really wanted to see your reaction to this thing. So I have you on in the background like a podcast or like an audiobook, basically. And I'm reading out the story. And they said it's like a soothing way to sort of re-experience these things they really like.
There's
And
actually a lot of
I'm
those
fine
going on right
watching.
now. Celebrities are
Yeah.
doing that a lot.
Yeah, totally.
They're doing kids reading, or just like reading
Yeah.
a like podcast kind of thing.
Yeah.
I
And
actually
my audience is also, to go right along with what you said, my audience is much older than the general
Yeah.
anime and manga video game type channel, which is weird
Yeah.
because for me, like I don't play horror games. I don't read like very violent stuff. So
Mhm.
for me, the stuff that I'm reading or the stuff that I'm playing is stuff that like a kid could enjoy. But when
Mhm.
you look at my channel demographics and you see all the people that subscribe to me, like
Uh-huh.
75% of the people that subscribe to me are 18 to 24. So it's like they're older.
Adult.
It's not
Yeah.
like they're adults. And
Mhm.
then the next demographic after that is 25 to 36.
So it's
And
just
then like the 10
yeah.
to whatever ratio, like the kid
Mhm.
demographic misses me completely. I've got like 5% of kids audience. Um,
That's
and
good
I
because
like it that
especially
way.
YouTube
Yeah,
now, like
totally.
you
Yeah.
can't do kids content anymore.
No, no, no. And I think that's the fun of doing what I do, right? Is that so much of the stuff that I play is like for kids, but
Mhm.
it's not, but the videos aren't for children. The videos are
Yeah.
for adults who
Mhm.
like the same happy stuff that I do. So that when
And
I,
yeah,
I
we grew
swear
up
or I
with all
do
this stuff.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like people, I mean, we finally realizing it, especially with Deadpool, like American culture also understand it now is that,
Sure.
oh yeah, well, like, yes, like this is the type of contents that there's some are for kids, but also a lot are for
Sure.
adults as well.
Sure. Sure.
It's like TV show, you got Sesame Street, but you also got stuff like Dexter or like,
That's right.
Game of Thrones where people just dying and having sex and like all this
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So just cause the medium, the format is like a manga, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean it has to be just for kids. And same for
Yeah.
cartoon stuff too. Like anime for the longest time, it's like, oh, it's for
Sure.
kids, for American at least, right? But then now it's more like, oh, we got stuff like Rick and Morty. That's definitely not for kids.
Definitely not for kids. South
Yeah.
Park,
Oh, South Park's great.
Yeah, Simpsons, any of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, it's funny too, going back and watching things then that I watched as a kid. So like Hamtaro is a good example. I loved watching Hamtaro as a kid. And now coming back to it and like doing live streams where like I call it the Hamtaro happy hour, where I dress up in a Hamtaro kigurumi and I drink vodka.
Onesie?
It's become like a funny sort of joke now, where it's almost like, okay, well, this is something I really liked as a kid. This is how I experience it as an adult, and it's still just as fun. So yeah.
It's funny, a lot of actually American cartoon show, they like even like SpongeBob and stuff, they hire a lot of
SpongeBob's
jokes
got
that
lots of adult humor for
oh,
sure.
it's great. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it's like the writer's like, dude, we know kids are watching this, but the adults are sitting there watching it with them. So like, please give them something to entertain them. Like, so they like, oh, fun to watch. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, American cartoons are really good at that. I feel like a lot of shonen and a lot of the manga and anime that are really popular are sort of already doing that, but it's never a wink and a nod to the parents. I think it's just developed with like action in mind, and so it's naturally more violent. Whereas in America, yeah, the kids stuff, it's like what qualifies as a kids show in North America is very different from what qualifies as a kids show in Japan, right? In Japan, you have Food Wars is a shonen, right? You got characters having food orgasms and getting naked and stuff, and it's like, but it's fine if you're a 10-year-old in Japan, your mom's not going to question you watching Food Wars. Whereas if you're in America, if you're watching that in America, the parents are going to be like, shield your eyes, go watch Teen Titans instead or something. So
yeah, Teen Titans Go, not even Teen Titans.
Right. Not even Teen Titans, right?
Yeah, like I'm from Asia, and blood and gore is not that much of a deal.
No,
like especially like an American standard, like those are even nothing. Like it has to go a whole new level to be like, oh yeah, that's pretty glory with blood, but random stuff's like, oh yeah, like don't they also change a lot of stuff like in Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that, even for America?
I mean, One Piece. I mean, that's a big reason why One Piece failed early on in North America is the 4Kids dub changed so many things about the series. Just a really good early example. Two things. One is Sanji. The character Sanji in One Piece always has a cigarette with him. They changed the cigarette to a lollipop. So whenever he took it out of his mouth, it was like a lollipop end. And so it always looked like he had a lollipop. So that was a big one. And the second thing was in that Arlong Park story arc that I was telling you about, when I read it in the manga for the first time, Belmare, Nami's mother, gets shot by Arlong. And she gets killed in front of her eyes. And I read that. And then I watched the anime when it was on TV on Toonami, having already read the manga. And Arlong doesn't shoot Belmare. He tells Belmare, I'm going to throw you in the dungeon for the rest of your life. And they change the story completely, which then makes you question, well, if she was in the dungeon the whole time,
why not go save her?
Just go save her. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's what One Piece is known for, saving people, saving Ace and everyone, like just go get her.
Exactly. So that's a bit of a mess. Yeah.
Dude, like 4Kids or whatever, those dubs are, oh man, like Yu-Gi-Oh is a whole different thing, man. It's just like,
well, Yu-Gi-Oh, that's the Shadow Realm doesn't exist in the manga. So if you've read the original manga of Yu-Gi-Oh, there's
it's
no
so dark. It's freaking dark. The real Yu-Gi-Oh.
You die in real Yu-Gi-Oh.
Dude,
and so
Yugi was an ass. Like
that.
Yugi is like that. The Pharaoh, he just want people to die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
people let people burn it,
It's
catch on
way
fire.
darker.
Oh, so
Yeah,
dark. Yeah.
the stuff
Like
that happens with the what's his name? Not Phoenix. What's his name? The Toon guy. The Toon guy.
oh,
Oh, what's his name?
not Kaiba.
No,
Pegasus?
well, Kaiba's the
Pegasus, right?
Pegasus. Thank you. It's Pegasus.
Yeah.
Pegasus. Yeah, all that stuff is way different in the manga. I mean, like Joey's voice in the Four Kids dub, where he's got a Brooklyn accent. I mean, it's just like there's so many weird things. But Yu-Gi-Oh is one of those strange examples in which the things that happened in the American weird, like cleaned up dub are
Uh-huh.
things that stuck with the series for forever. Now. When people think of Yu-Gi-Oh, they think of getting sent to the Shadow Realm, right?
Yep.
And so
Mhm.
that's like such a basic, to the point where now when people talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, like the good Yu-Gi-Oh, you talk about the
Mhm.
Shadow Realm,
Yeah.
which is something that, I mean, it's absurd. It wasn't
People
in
think that's
there.
canon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not
It became
canon.
canon because it got so big.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Like
right,
even
right,
when you're
right.
playing video games or like you're dissing your friends, like I'm gonna send
The
you to the
Shadow
Shadow
Realm.
Realm. Yeah,
That's it,
easy.
yeah.
No, you're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate
Yeah.
deck.
Exactly, right, exactly.
Wait, okay. I only got through one project. You said you're doing read through.
Yes, so I'm doing a read-through.
Mama. What else?
I've got a lot of games are coming out in the next month or so, so I'll be doing a lot of stuff for that. Final Fantasy VII Remake's coming out. Sakura Wars for PS4 is coming out. We've got more Animal Crossing DLC, another Smash character, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for Switch. I mean, there's a lot to go through. And I know for me, I want to do at least some content on those games, whether that's going to be a playthrough, excuse me, or reactions or something. I do want to do something for all of those games. So we'll see. And then in terms of like things that I already do, like One Piece or Hunter x Hunter, really it just depends. I mean, it just depends on how I'm feeling. I feel like there's so much good stuff to do content on nowadays, especially right now, especially because we're stuck inside and there's all these other good things. Like it's a good time to catch up on series that you've never watched before or read before. And so there's lots of.
Do you see like maybe a possible jump that's your content or your viewership go up because of quarantine? Like
I actually have. So weirdly enough, there's a lot of people who've said that, like other fellow YouTubers, I mean, not necessarily Twitch, but YouTube in particular. A lot of YouTubers have been saying, oh, my revenue is so bad this month. It's been so low, like viewership's down, everything's really bad. And like I could not be further from the truth for me. I feel like this year so far, despite all the bad stuff going on in the world, has been amazing in terms of YouTube growth. I mean, I have more people watching my videos and commenting and watching through these long live streams and donating and things than I ever had before. And the revenue is higher because more people are watching your video. So there's more ads to watch through.
I think it's a weird side effect. And that's why I started this podcast. You know, first of all, I wanted to do it for a long time, but I feel like the long format is where you can really talk about things that you want to talk about.
For sure.
And care more for it, you know. That also want me to ask you a second question. And again, all of this is things that I'm interested in, I care for. Step back for a second. Yeah, step back for a second. Have you always thought about doing this for a living, like when you were younger?
No.
I feel like none of us have, right? Yeah, exactly. Good. Okay, that's the answer that I'm expecting. Good.
Yeah, no. I mean, when I grew up, I mean, if I would have known that YouTube was a thing when I was 10, for sure, it'd be my dream. I'd be like, I want to be a YouTuber and play video games.
But that wasn't a thing. That doesn't exist.
That was a thing? No. For me, I went to school for theater and English. I thought I was going to be a theater teacher. I mean, that's ultimately what I went to school for. And then midway through my sophomore year, there was a video game that came out for Nintendo DS called Professor Layton. It's like a little puzzle game, and I loved it. And at the time, I was doing freelance writing for this like small video game blog, and I was able to go to E3 back when it was like a pretty private event where only media got to go. And I went, and they announced a sequel to Professor Layton, like Nintendo did, but they didn't really market it at all. They didn't talk about it as one of the big games at E3, and I thought, well, this is a real shame. It's a really big franchise. I want to do something about it. So I made, and this was in the early days of Twitter, like the early days.
What years are we talking about?
This was Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box was the game.
So what year? 2000?
This was 2000. It would have been halfway through college for me. So 2010-ish, 2010.
Yeah.
Around 2010. Yeah. So like around 2021. So 2010. I went to E3 and then I saw the game and I created a Twitter profile for Professor Layton in which I tweeted out riddles that like the character would tweet out and people would tweet back at me the answers. And it really blew up and it got the attention of Nintendo where they hit me up and said, you need to shut this down or say that it isn't official because people are thinking this is an official thing. And so I said, okay, that's not a problem. But then they said, hey, come back to us when you graduate because we'll have a job for you.
Wow.
This is amazing. And so my career sort of shifted midway through college where I went, I'm not going to go to school for theater and English. I'm going to go in the video game industry. I'm going to go work in the game industry. So I got that job right out of college doing product demonstration for them. And then I wanted to use that to sort of like jump into a job on the coast. Because again, I'm from Chicago. I was never on, the coast at all. I
Yeah.
was never on the West Coast. And I never even thought of living on the West Coast. But that's where Nintendo is located. It's in Seattle and in Redwood City. And they said, well, you need to live out here if you're going to get a job with us. We love you. We'd love to hire you, but you need to move out here first. And of course, I was a college kid, didn't have a lot of money, whatever. And so I applied to a bunch of different jobs. And I was at home for like a year after college, applying to all these different positions, just to get somewhere on the West Coast. And basically, I uploaded a video of Let It Go from Frozen to my YouTube channel. And that video got noticed by Disney Interactive here in Glendale. And they were looking for contract work at the time for a project. And they said, would you want to come work for us? We saw your Frozen video.
What
we
kind
saw
of video?
You applied for it. It was a song. I did a song cover for Let It Go.
Oh, okay. A cover. Okay.
But what happened was at the time, there were not a lot of guys doing Let It Go on YouTube. And additionally, I had already applied for them like months before, and I didn't hear anything back. So I had assumed,
nothing happened. I mean, that's, yeah.
But because that Let It Go video blew up, it got the attention of the people who I needed to get the attention to. And they hired me for a contract position. I moved out here. I worked at Disney Interactive, which eventually ended up doing like contract work for ABC, for Lucasfilm, for Marvel, for a lot of like different companies that are Disney subsidiaries. But I never worked for Disney itself. I was always like a contractor off doing their own things and going to different projects. And I loved it. I mean, it was fun. But while I was doing that, I was still doing my YouTube videos that I just happened to do for fun on the side after I realized after the Let It Go video, I could make money doing this. So what happened was I was doing these side videos, and it eventually got to a point around 2016 where I was making more money doing YouTube than I was at my day jobs. And
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it was super weird. And I went, well, why am I doing all this contract social media? Because I wasn't just doing stuff for like Disney or ABC or any of these other companies. I was also doing stuff for Microsoft at one point. I worked for Microsoft Developer. I worked for just a bunch of Tiltify, like the charity organization.
Yep.
I did stuff with them. And it was all contract. So I was doing like multiple things at once. And I realized, why am I doing this? I am like really working myself to the bone when I realized if I had just focused on making content on YouTube, I could really grow on the platform and make as much as I was making during those day jobs.
Yeah.
So
and also you're doing it for yourself. That's the difference.
Exactly. So in 2016, I quit. I mean, I literally quit my cushy entertainment job and doing contract social media to do YouTube. And it was a struggle for like the first 6 months. But after, I really put my nose to the grind and started doing more videos and doing more streams and things, it became what it is today. Where now it's funny because the companies that then I wanted to work for as an employee, I'm now working for as brand ambassadors and doing partnerships with them and stuff on Twitch and on YouTube. So it's almost like I ended up doing videos, or ended up working, I should say, for like Disney and Nintendo and all this stuff. But it's been through these partnerships now where I'm my own boss, but I still get to work with the brands that I love. So it's this great situation.
It's interesting because, like, I mean, a lot of us in this industry and our friends too, like, we always have to make that decision, like when to do that jump, that scary jump. Because you never know where you're going to land. Yeah. And then you never know it's going to work or not. We always I hope it works, and it's luckily when it works, it's great. And
we're the lucky ones at this point.
Yeah, we work really hard. Like I never thought about doing photography for a living and all that other stuff and content creation. Yeah, no, like taking pictures and like I mean I started same thing. Like
especially not just taking pictures, but cosplay pictures, no less.
Oh, it's so weird.
That's
a
whole other ball game, right? It's like on one hand, I'm over here doing anime and video game things. You're taking cosplay photos. Reagan's doing cosplay. It's like this kind of stuff. It wasn't a job opportunity when we were growing up at all.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist at all. So
it
like
came with the onset of the internet and social media and everything.
Yeah, like I started with shooting cosplay at conventions. And then I was like, my friend asked me, a high school friend, that I take photos. Like, sure, I'll go check it out. Whatever.
Sure.
And then next thing you know, I love this. And that's shooting nonstop. And then it got bigger and bigger. And again, with the internet, it's just kind of snowball.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. And I used to work in Silicon Valley too.
Oh wow! So see, what were you doing in Silicon Valley? Were you doing like PR or social media? Or?
I was doing a lot of marketing stuff for a big social media company and also one of the social media platform.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, and also for a big giant tech company as well too. I mean, everyone in the Bay Area does that. I live there, so I got a chance to
of course,
easily apply and work with them, and it was great. But yeah, and one of the phrase, and I've seen a lot, and I love it, is that do not quit your day job, but do not quit your daydream. I seen that like on the poster. People like, But that's kind of the thing, like we were doing our job, and then at the same time we're like,
grinding away at what we want to do, right?
Yeah, what did we do? What we wanted to do, and then it's so. No, I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad it worked out for you too.
I'm curious, vice versa. I was going to say on your end though is. You said you were working in Silicon Valley. When was that moment when you realized, I can make money doing cosplay photography, and this could be my main thing?
So
when was that really a moment for you?
That's a great question, because I answered that question at San Diego Comic-Con last year too. DeviantArt actually asked me out to go there to do a panel. First of all, I'm still very proud. I said it on one of my podcasts as well, but I'm still so proud of it. It's dumb. It's one of those things bucket list I can check off. Sure. I actually got a little plaque that has my name on it, has San Diego Comic-Con logo on it. I was like, this is so cool, because all the
that is cool.
That's such a nerd thing to have. And I did it, and then it was and someone asked me that question. It's like, hey, when did you make that jump? Yeah. It was when it became an inconvenience to my day job. Because
see, that's totally, I'm right there with you. I am right there with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Where it almost became an inconvenience where, I realized I could make enough money doing this thing, but me sitting down and doing a One Piece review at 4 a.m, right before I go to work at 9, and having to edit it and do all that stuff and read it as soon as the scans came out and do all that. I mean, it was a huge stress where I would be doing a stream, going to work, coming back, doing another video, and then going to sleep at 12 to wake up at 4 the next morning. And I mean, it was an inconvenience. It was one of those things where if I want to keep doing this, I'm gonna.
There were days that I'm it was dying, because I would have to go talk to my boss, and I mean, I have to either depend the boss and depend on different job but sometimes be hey, I'm gonna be sick in about 3.5 weeks because of the events going on.
I would be sick, exactly.
Yeah, or I have to work from home, and then I'll be working at the event. So I'll be at the conventions, and I'll be working the whole time, and then when I'm not working, I can go to the con and do all the convention stuff, and then come back from I could be sometimes events end on Sunday. I flew back Sunday night, and then I might be actually Sunday night, but Monday morning. I get back in 3 a.m. I sleep for 3 hours, and all right, let's just go straight back to work nothing. And that Monday is just deadly. It's just yeah, cool. And those Monday morning meetings, this morning meeting can't be an email. We all know this. Why are we doing this? And especially now too, everyone's working at home.
The stories I have of specific, I don't care anymore. When I did the Microsoft stuff in particular, bro, the stories I have of being in these meetings with the Microsoft people who are so scared of losing their job with every small little detail, when you're writing, literally all I was doing was writing editorial calendars. I was sitting writing contract editorial calendars for a developer account. I mean, it was basic things. And I wanted to make the posts funny and lighthearted. And they would say, oh, no, this isn't going to go over well, or people are going to dislike this. And I'm like, no, I know it's going to go over well. I don't need to explain this to you on a meeting and have you approve it. I'm going to do it. That's what you hire me for.
That's why you hired me. That's the reason I'm doing this.
Because I know what I'm doing. So let me do it. And then they would argue with me. I would publish it anyway, even though they didn't want me to do it. It would do well. And they'd be like, oh, that really did really well. I'm glad you decided to do that anyway. And then they would forget that.
And they'll do that again. Yep.
And they do it every time. And that endless cycle of just the office workers scared to lose their job,
I had exactly same of those meetings. And it's okay, and here's the thing. It's not that company I was working with, but my team, you have either offered me 3 things, right? Either you teaching me something,
right?
Or you promoting me, or you let me try to help you build a company, or do more of it. Sure. And if you're not offering any of those 3, I'm out. And that's what happened, They're not teaching me anything anymore. After the first few months, okay, we should do other stuff. So that's where I try to explore and say, nope, we don't do this. Why? It'd be so much more efficient, And then this is why, when I leave, they need to hire 2 or 3 other people just to replace one of me, because I was doing so much more efficient. You don't even know what I was doing until I was gone. Yeah. And then of course you're not promoting me. Then it's okay, then you're wasting everyone's time here. What are we doing here? So
that was exactly how I felt too. When I left my last one, I forgot what the last thing was that I was working on. I think the last contract thing I worked on was, I don't know if I should say, regardless. The last thing, it was a Star Wars property, was what I'll say. And I was working on this project, and it ended up happening where I realized I could sign on to another contract right after that Star Wars thing ended. And I went, I could keep doing this. I could potentially move this into a full-time job. And I chose not to. And my supervisor was shocked that I did not get this contract. And I remember going to C2E2, which was the very first event after quitting. And I had quit like the week before. And I went to go see my family in Chicago, and I went to C2E2. It's one of my home cons. And I enjoyed myself. And then I remember sitting on the flight coming back from C2E2 going, shit, what did I just do? Like, what did I just do? I'm going back to LA. I don't have a job. What am I doing? It's just me. And taking on that responsibility and like really realizing it's all me now. There's no excuses. If I'm not making money, it's all me. I have to go back, and I can't go crawling back to the company I just quit. You know what I mean? You can't do that. And I could. I mean, everyone, but, nice there, but I didn't want to. You know?
Yeah. So it's about yourself. You know? Yeah. And here's the thing. Exactly. Like it takes a certain personality type. You know, I tell people this all the time too, and I actually just recently made a video about it too. Being a full-time content creator is not an easy way out. It's definitely not an easy way out. In fact, you're gonna spend more time and more hours, especially in the beginning.
More, for sure.
It's way more. Like, you know, as you said, like you never know. Suddenly, like, oh yeah, by the way, tomorrow there's gonna be a Nintendo Direct, or like in 2 days. Like,
it's like, okay, tomorrow, no, last minute. It's funny. With Reagan, obviously, you know, my girlfriend, Reagan, cosplayer, Reagan Catherine, go follow her on Twitter and Instagram, whatever. When we started dating, I think that's a big reason as to why it worked so well, was because, and I'm sure you know this too, it's with content creation, when you're dating another content creator, they're really kind of the only people that understand like what it means to sort of be on call at all times. Like when something is trending and you realize I have to make a costume, when a video game gets announced and you're like, I got to do my live reaction stream, I got to play this game, I got to do this thing. You're always on call. You know what I mean? And there were definitely people that I dated in the past in which they didn't understand that. And it was no fault of them. It was my bad for not explaining it enough, you know, but it was the kind of thing where I went, oh, no, I mean, I have to do this. This is my career. It's work. And obviously what we do is nowhere near as important as like maybe saving someone's life. Like,
we're not doctor kind of on call, but still like, but it's still not like we don't decide.
Exactly. Because if you're not on top of something right away and you work in social media, it's like, you'll die. You got to keep going or you die. It's one of those things.
And you keep saying no, they're not going to come back. Yeah.
Of course. Like, and I think that knowing when you made it or knowing that you're at least secure is knowing that you can do whatever you want to do, and that there's still going to be some ride or die people who are going to follow you no matter what, right? It's that you're no longer concerned about relevancy. And this could happen at 1,000 subscribers. It could happen at 1 million subscribers. It really depends on the person.
It's hard.
It is hard. But I think it's one of those things where the relevancy really, it doesn't come at a number. It comes at a certain relationship you have with your community. And within the community as a whole, whether it's photography for you or anime for me, it's one of those things where once you've made a stake and a name in that community, you're sort of set, unless you do something and you really screw up. You're kind of set there. Like you know what I mean? Well, you don't have to really fight for relevancy anymore. And it's at that point when I feel like you can be the most creatively vulnerable and you can do some really out there stuff, because then even if it doesn't do as well, like that project doesn't do as well, you at least know that your hardcore fans are still there for you no matter what. And you could do whatever your mainline thing is. Like what's your most popular cosplay that you photograph where you're like, this is something I know is always going to get likes on Instagram. It's something I'm going to sell a lot of prints of. Like what's the one big cosplay that you always think that for?
Ooh, that's a hard one. There's some that I know that always do really well. Of course, stuff I do with Jessica Negri always do very well as well.
That's a great example.
Yeah, she's a big one. Exactly. And that's gonna help. You know, she helped me a lot to set my foot in the door in this whole industry as well too.
Just as like your One Piece.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's the thing you can keep coming back to, you know, and know that it's always there, and know that it helped you get to where you are. And yeah, man, I
think it's great too. And here's the thing too, like Jess and I,
it's cool that you said that.
we try many things too, like, because like, you know, thanks to her, like we try stuff like going to Hawaii or like go to like all this crazy place and to get some amazing photos, and people still love it. I'm like, oh, I'm glad they work well. And we constantly try to like do crazy stuff to, you know, we even did like we were in New Zealand like 2 years ago, and we went to like this tower that's like really high, and we're like dangling off on the side, and it's crazy, but you know, people loved it. So that was amazing. And you know, I think we found it. I mean, as I said, no, I want to go back to the dating part, like with like people what we do, and that's the crazy thing. Like there's a few people that I know in our industry can do that. Like Meg Turney is an example I always bring up. I'm not sure you know Megan Turney. She's dating a guy called Gavin Free, who does his channel on YouTube. Yeah, exactly. They do a slow-mo guy and Rooster Teeth.
Right.
But they're both like content creators, you know. There were like months that I know that I definitely have seen Turney more than Gavin have seen Turney because we're just working, we're just creating content.
For sure.
But like, you know, we have, and that's why I love them because it makes their time together even more, you know, special.
Valuable.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Completely
agree.
And they have, but you know, it's really hard for people not in that industry to understand that too.
Completely.
You know?
Yeah. Completely
like,
agree.
Especially for me too. I mentioned it all the time. It's like, hey, like, what if like I'm dating someone and I'd be like, hey, sorry, honey. I know we're supposed to have a dinner date tonight, but I just got a call. I need to go shoot this other hot girl because that's my job. That is my job. And then we have to push
it's tougher for you. For me, it was a situation like,
Nintendo.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have to change plans because like there's a new Xenoblade game or something. Though I guess realistically, right, when they see what the game looks like and it's Pyra or something with big boobs, she thinks almost the same thing. But I would feel like, with your situation in particular,
it's tough.
That would definitely be hard to explain to someone like, hey, sorry, I have to cancel our dinner date so I can take pictures of this hot girl. You know what I mean?
That's why it's weird because like I don't want to date someone in the industry, but then again, if I don't date someone in this industry or at least related, they won't understand it either. So they'll be like,
it's really tough. It's tough.
It is tough. Like, you know, I'm trying to figure it out, but we'll see. I'm just, you know,
you'll get there, man.
I'll get there. I mean, I'm making sure like I want to be real. That's the thing. You know, we can be, we're very good at, of course, if I want to pretend a certain image for someone, that's sure we can do that, but I don't think that will make us happy, you know?
No. And I think that's the sign of like a good content creator, I feel personally, is when you could tell that they're being genuine through the camera. I think that's such an easy thing to fake. And I think if you know that it's fake or you're a fellow content creator, you can watch them and be like, oh yeah, that person's completely different. Like, I feel like something that people will tell me all the time, which makes me then say like, well, what did you expect? Is like, I'll go to a convention, right? And I'll like be doing a One Piece meetup or something. And I'm saying all this goofy stuff that I would say on a stream. And they're like, oh, you're actually like this in real life. Or like a great example, the first time I think Reagan was here during a Nintendo Direct was, I want to say it was when a Smash character got announced. Like at this apartment, I mean, not at the previous apartment, but like around with me in the same apartment when a Nintendo Direct happened. It was 2 years ago when Animal Crossing got announced for Switch. And Isabelle got announced as the playable character in Smash. And I was in this room. I had just set up the computer in this room, and she was in the bedroom. And I was like screaming off the top of my lungs, like, oh my God, Isabelle, I can't believe it. And I'm sitting there, and like, unbeknownst to her, she's sleeping, like she's not in the same room. And I'm sitting after the stream is over going, I'm so happy. I'm talking to myself, I'm having a good time. And she walks in and she's like, are you still streaming? I'm like, no, I'm just happy. And that was some of the moments she realized, like, oh no, he's like this. Yeah. Or like I said, going to a convention and doing like a One Piece theory meetup or something and talking with people about what I think is going to happen next in One Piece and getting all excited about a theory. And people go, oh, wow, you're actually
really into this and you like this stuff. Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah, what do you think? I'm not going to do this as my job if I don't love it. Like, of course.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when I first started, like, we're like a beam of sunlight. That's what you are. It's like,
oh, I appreciate that. That's very nice. A beam of sunlight.
Yeah. It's just warm.
Take it.
It says always warm and lovely. Anyway, this has been great. I know I enjoy having you here. You know, I would love to have you on sometime again. You know,
absolutely,
especially when some again. Maybe we'll come back when we got more Smash character announced, and we can go back like how many got right or how many got wrong. You know,
we should do it when all 5 have been announced, and we go,
exactly.
Okay, these are the 5 that I said, and these are how they play, and I'd be down to do that. That'd be a lot of fun.
We'll make a drinking game. You know, like everyone that you got wrong, you take a shot, and when you got right, I'll take a shot. So let's do that.
Well, what you should do, obviously not now because of all the coronavirus stuff that's happening, but one thing I would love to do is when everything is done, right? When it's safe to go to people's houses and everything, I'll have you over. I'll dress you up in a hamster kigurumi. We'll watch Hamtaro and we'll drink some brandy. That's going to be
do it.
That's the play. Because I stream that on Twitch. That's like whenever I do, it's usually about once a month on Twitch and it's a random day. I just surprise people with it. And I like having people join me. I think it's fun to have people like join.
No, definitely. I'm down for it.
And Hamtaro is such a goofy, stupid thing that, like, especially when you have a lot of people watching, it just gets even sillier. So,
all right, where can people find you?
Sure. You can find me at RogersBase on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, and on Instagram. As I mentioned earlier, I do manga chapter live reactions for One Piece, Attack on Titan, anime reactions for things like Hunter x Hunter, Demon Slayer, Solo Leveling, and I also do Nintendo live reactions and playthroughs. I'm currently playing through Animal Crossing. Next week, I'm going to start Final Fantasy VII, most likely, Sakura Wars, Xenoblade is coming up really soon, Fire Emblem, lots of cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, thanks for having me on, Martin. It's a blast.
Of course.
It's a lot of fun.
Before you go, where did you
Yes.
get RogersBase from?
Like,
It might be just
that's a good question.
It might be
That's a good question.
base, headquarters.
It's not an exciting story though, I'll tell you. So after the Professor Layton thing happened, after I did that Twitter campaign with Professor Layton, I realized I need to separate my brand from that character because obviously Nintendo doesn't want me doing it anymore. I need to do something else. Exactly. So what I did was I thought, okay, well, Roger, this was before I had the YouTube channel. This was my Twitter is where it came from first. It was before I did the YouTube. I went, okay, I want Roger in the name. Roger, and then that went, okay, Roger's something. Roger's like Hangout, Roger's Place, whatever. And there's an internet meme that was very popular like in 2010.
All your bases belong to me?
Bro, exactly. You know where this is going. Exactly. And I thought, oh, you know what? That's really cute is I can incorporate this internet meme with like the idea of like a place or a spot or a location where people can come find me. And the other thing that came from was in the old Pokemon games in Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, you can make secret bases. You know how you would like drill the hole?
Yeah. I love that on GBA.
Yeah. And I predominantly was a Pokemon player, and I still, of course, play Pokemon, but I was really into it at the time. I thought, how cool, I could incorporate Pokemon and the internet meme and everything I want into my name. So I made it RogersBase, and literally, I have not changed it since 2010. It has been my name everywhere, on every platform, on PSN, on Switch, on everything. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, you name it. It's always been RogersBase. And, you know, a lot of people who made their names right when they were teenagers or in college who now are like, oh, I got to change my username. And I'm one of those people who, no, I love my username. I'm going to keep it. I like it. Yeah.
Well, whenever a new platform come out, you better make sure grab on it before.
That the worst thing is when you're logging onto a new game and they require you to make a username and someone's already taken it. I faced that twice. I had that happen once with, I think it was with PSN. And then I had to contact PSN to be like, no, my old PSN was this. It was Maxcom Roger. It's actually supposed to be RogersBase. Could you do it? And they changed it for me. And I forgot when the second time was. I think it was for Overwatch. Maybe it was for Overwatch.
Do you think because they know you, they do that?
Oh, for sure. They do it to be a dick. For sure. Yeah, they do it. They do it definitely like take your name. For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of my friends have that problem too. So they're like, yep, better hop on it quick. So before someone's take it. Yeah. Anything that's
the issue with Switch is that you could have the same name as somebody else on Switch because your Switch ID is the thing that changes.
Yeah.
So like I could change my name to whatever I want it to be. I could make my Switch name Martin Wong and then go fight people on Smash Bros. And it's like, well, obviously I don't want to do that. And there was one really funny time where I was playing Smash Brothers and I was playing as myself, RogersBase, and I ran into and matched somebody named RogersBase. And I went, what? And I'm playing the match with them, and they beat me. And then they tweeted at me saying, "Oh, I beat RogersBase," and I was like, "Really?" Because it says that RogersBase won. So that's pretty funny.
That's funny. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming on the show. I had a great time. Let's do this again.
Absolutely, me too.
But yeah, anyway, everyone that's watching, thank you so much for watching, for follow, for sub, and watching this on YouTube, on podcast, on everything. But yeah, I'll talk to you all later, and have a great day, guys.
That sounds nice. Bye-bye.